All right, Knicks fans, we need to talk because there's a name floating around right now that should have every single one of you sitting up straight in your chair. Mitchell Robinson is basically gone. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Unless James Dolan has some kind of last-minute change of heart, Robinson is walking out of Madison Square Garden this summer, and the front office knows it. So while half of this fan base is still in mourning stage, posting tribute edits and pretending this isn't really happening, the smart move is to stop crying and start scouting. And wouldn't you know it, the answer might have just dropped right into our laps thanks to Charlotte. Before we go further, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button right now because we live and breathe Knicks basketball every single day. And trust me, you do not want to miss what's coming this offseason. And seriously, smash that like button. It genuinely helps this channel grow, and I read every comment. So tell me down below if you agree or disagree with what I'm about to say, because this one is going to get people talking. So here's the situation. Charlotte just pulled off a blockbuster, shipping LaMelo Ball out to Minnesota. Wild move, right? But buried in the fallout of that trade is a name Knicks fans need to circle. Ryan Kalkbrenner. This kid is 24 years old, he's cheap, he's effective, and thanks to the Hornets suddenly being flooded with size, he might be available. And if he is, the Knicks better not sleep on it. Now let's talk about why Charlotte even has a reason to move him. As part of that LaMelo deal, the Hornets landed Naz Reid. Reid's primarily a 4, sure, but you know Charlotte is going to throw him at the 5 spot too, just to see what sticks. Add that to the fact that Moussa Diabate is already eating minutes in the front court, and then add in the fact that Charlotte just drafted Hannes Steinbach with the 14th overall pick, and suddenly you've got a serious logjam at center, Kalkbrenner, who quietly had a really solid rookie year starting, and then coming off the bench behind Diabate, could become the odd man out. And that, Knicks fans, is exactly the kind of situation we should be watching like hawks. Now I want to be real with you, because I'm not here to oversell this guy like he's the second coming of peak Hakeem Olajuwon. Kalkbrenner is not Mitchell Robinson, not even close in some areas. Robinson is more physical, more versatile defensively, and he's still a far bigger lob threat above the rim. And when it comes to offensive rebounding, forget it. Nobody in this league is touching what Robinson does on offensive glass. That's not a knock on Kalkbrenner. That's just facts. Because honestly, almost nobody in basketball replicates that part of Robinson's game. But here's where it gets interesting, and here's why I'm not just dismissing this kid. Kalkbrenner, heading into basically just his second year as a pro, has already proven he can handle real minutes on a real NBA roster. He's not Robinson on the boards, but he still finished in the 71st percentile in offensive rebound rate. That's not nothing. And offensively, his hands are actually better than people give him credit for. Last season, he was averaging a combined 1.5 3 points per possession on cuts and rolls to basket. That is efficient. That is exactly the kind of dump-off, finish at the rim production that fits perfectly next to playmakers like Jalen Brunson. And get this, he shot 72% from a free throw line. 72%. That number alone should make every single one of you smile, because that means you cannot hack a Cockburn the way teams have tried to hack other bigs. Defenses can't exploit him at the line the way they sometimes try with traditional rim runners. Now don't get it twisted, his lateral mobility and overall frame still leave a lot to be desired defensively. He's not sliding his feet on switches and shutting down guards on the perimeter. But here's a stat that should genuinely turn some heads. Per 100 possessions, Kalkbrenner actually contested more shots and deterred more points in the paint last season than Mitchell Robinson did. Let that sink in for a second. That doesn't mean he's better than Robinson, and I want to be crystal clear about that, because Robinson has earned his stripes in this city. But it does mean Kalkbrenner knows how to use what he's got, and he knows how to protect the rim in a winning way. Now let's get to the part that should really get Knicks fans excited, and that's the money. Kalkbrenner's contract is an absolute steal compared to whatever Robinson is about to command in free agency. We're talking about a total of $7.7 million owed over the next 3 years. Read that again. $7.7 million total over 3 seasons. His cap hit for next year sits right around $2.4 million. That number is so manageable, it actually opens the door for the Knicks to package him alongside a contract like Packham Dadiot's $3 million deal. without having to touch the core rotation that we've all fallen in love with this season. But here's the catch, and this is where Knicks fans need to really pay attention. Charlotte is not just in a hand over Kalkbrenner for an expiring contract like dating it straight up. That's not how this works. This is where New York's draft night maneuvering this past year could actually pay off in a massive way. Remember all those second-round picks the front office stockpiled by moving around picks 24 and 31? Leon Rose and this front office could throw 2 or 3 of those second-rounders into a package around Dadiet without blinking. That's the kind of move that makes a rebuilding team like Charlotte sit up and actually listen. And let's be honest about where Charlotte's head is at right now. Trading away LaMelo Ball tells you everything you need to know about their timeline. They are not trying to win now. They are stacking assets and picks for the future. So adding a little more pace, a few more development minutes, and seeing how Charlotte's front office reacts when New York comes calling with picks attached to an expiring deal, that's a real path here. And Cockburn, as good as he's looked, is honestly more expendable now than he was a month ago, simply because Charlotte is suddenly overloaded at the position with Diabate, Reed, and Steinbach all in the mix. So here's my honest take as a fan, and I mean this. Losing Mitchell Robinson is going to sting. It already stings just talking about it. He's been a fan favorite, a defensive anchor, a guy who fights for every single rebound like his life depends on it. But this front office cannot afford to sit around feeling sentimental while other teams improve around us. If Robinson officially walks this summer, and let's be real, it's looking more and more like when not if, then New York needs to be ready to pounce the second Charlotte center logjam becomes an issue for them. This is the kind of move that doesn't make headlines on day one of free agency. But 6 months later, fans are looking back saying, why didn't we get that guy? I don't want the Knicks to be a step behind on this one. All right, that's my breakdown. Now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, would you actually want Cockburn replacing Robinson's role next season? Or do you think the Knicks need to look elsewhere entirely for size? Smash that like button if you want more breakdowns like this one. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. Let's go Knicks.